Hey, so today I'm going to be doing a video on wiring. So, and like, not wiring, but like timings. So, the relationship between all of your stuff in the Canon. I've been getting a lot of requests for this, but it took me so long to do it because I didn't really know the best way to go about it so that you guys would fully understand. But I think I have a good way now, but if you don't understand, just let me know and I'll try to redo it or explain it a little bit better. So this layout is going to be for an AP with an efficient nuke. But if you don't want an AP or you don't want an efficient nuke, you don't want either, just still keep watching because you can just use the parts that I don't talk about. You can just use everything else besides those parts. So yeah. Also, I'm going to be covering uh, AP and efficient nukes in this video. Like I said, it's not going to be a full in-depth video. I'm going to do a full in-depth video on it uh, later, but this is like a basic overview, so you might even figure out how to do them by watching this video, but that's not the main goal. So I'll go more in depth in another video. Also, this is just going to be for a normal para. It's not going to be for uh, an AG, anything like that. It's also not going to be for a 1Rev. I can do separate timings on those videos in a separate video. I mean, separate timings on those cannons, like videos on them. Um, but yeah, so this is just going to be a normal para. It's also going to be trapdoor because I'll do a stair para in a probably in my next video. I'm going to show how to use stair or how to do a stair barrel. But just you can still watch and still watch this video and understand what's going on, because for stair all you need to do is just change these two boosters right here, this one and that one. So you just still learn everything else, and then I'll show you the stair video and you'll be able to put it all together, hopefully, and make a cannon. So is there anything else that I wanted to say? Oh, one more thing. So I'm not going to be doing boosters in this video because I already put a video on boosters, and the timings depend on how fast you want to be shooting. And that would just like make it look too weird and everything. So yeah. So let me explain how I'm going to lay this out. So I'm going to explain each different component besides the boosters, and then I'm going and show the relationship between them, and then I'm going to run through the entire cannon and how everything works in the order with including these boosters. So yeah, let me just show you how the signs work really quick. So um, I'm going to, this top part is what it is. So power 1, power 2, power 3, or AP power, and the number below is how many redstone ticks, how many redstone ticks it is from the button. And this is just for demonstration purposes, so you usually would not have only 2 redstone ticks from your button to your first power, but it's not really about that, it's more about the relationship between everything. So let's get right into it. So we'll have our power going off at 2 redstone ticks and our second power going off at 4. So what this means is you want both of your powers separated by 2 redstone ticks. And if you're confused about that, you can look at my fusioning video, and I explain that a little bit more. So we're just going to do that first. We're going to have our first power, so our power is separated by 2 redstone ticks. And I'm not going to go into sand comp because sand comp only really deals with the booster, so, but I'll do that when we connect everything. So those are our first 2 main components. Our next component we're going to be using is our hammer. So our hammer is going to, or sorry, that's not, so our hammer is going to be at 7 redstone ticks. And that means that our hammer is supposed to be 3 redstone ticks after our second power. See, this is at 4, that's at 7. So 3 redstone ticks after our second power is when our hammer goes off. Next, what will happen is we'll have our slab bust. So this top part represents our slab bust, and it is on 7.5. So the reason it's on 7.5 is because it's slightly after our hammer, which makes it a tunneling effect, which tunnels slabs. And there are a couple ways you can wire it. So first, what you can do, you usually like to wire it from the hammer because it's the easiest. Yeah, so you don't have to like make a whole separate redstone line. But there are a couple ways you can do it. So first, what you can do is you can use a comparator, because comparators are slightly after repeaters. So we'd have it wired from our hammer, and we could use a comparator, or what we can do is we can use a redstone block and a piston. Like that. So that would do the exact same thing. Next we'll go on to the nuke. So the nuke is going to be you can change it. It doesn't there's no like set timing you can do, but for this one we're going to do 9 ticks after the hammer. So you can change it. You can do 10. You can do 11. It doesn't really matter as long as it's after your hammer, and with order of entities it needs to be before your sand. So yeah, for this purpose I'm just going to do 9 redstone ticks apart, so you have it on 9, and then your nuke will also be on the same tick, so it will be on 16 and that's on 16. So as you can see, both of these are the same timings. And if you're, like I said, I'm going to do a full video on nukes and stuff later, but these will ought to be separated by 1 redstone tick as well. But yeah, so you want it 16, 16, so they're the same. Okay, so your nuke and your nuke hammer are on the exact same ticks. And you'll also have the reason why it's 6.5 on this side. It's not exactly 6.5. I'm just doing it so I can show you that it's slightly after your, because you'd have one side like powered like that, and you'd have one side powered like this, so that it's slightly after. So one side will be slightly after that side, just so it nukes better. It's called game tick nuking. So yeah, next let's go to our AP. So our AP is 17, so that means it's 1 tick after our nuke and our nuke hammer. Some people have their AP on the exact same time, but you can run into some issues. It really just depends on your preference. I would say, for me personally, the easiest is just having it 1 tick after your nuke. So you'll, similar to your the relationship between your nuke and your nuke hammer, you'll have your AP power and your AP on the same ticks. So it'll be 17 and 17. And you'll also have one side on 17.5, so you'll have it. You'll have one side like this, and then one side like that. But yeah, and the reason there are 5s is because I'm going to go into this a little bit more in the AP video. But normally when you're making it, there are ways to have more game tick APs, but normally you're going to be using 5 because that's how long it takes water to flow on normal servers. So yeah, now let's combine everything and add the boosters and go in order. So first thing that will happen is you'll have your sand booster dispense. So I'm going to say it's 0 redstone ticks, even though it wouldn't be, just for purposes of recording. So the reason why I'm incorporating your sand and your boosters is because you usually have it hooked up here, so you usually wire it from your infinite booster. So you have this go off. This is the first thing that goes off. Next, what you have is you'll have your first power. So your first power will end up here. So what will happen is this booster will shoot the sand over to this trapdoor, and the reason that's on 0 and that's on 2 is because you usually want to give it 1 or 2 redstone ticks to fly over to here and then be boosted by your power. That's why you have this one, your sand booster earlier than your power. Like I said, this isn't for stair barrels. You need a little bit less, but we're not going to be going over stair right now. This is just for a standard cannon, so that's the first thing that will happen. Next thing, I'm just going to remove that for now. So next thing, one redstone tick after your first power. So see 3 redstone ticks, you have your hammer booster come off. So your hammer booster will fall, and then what will happen is you will shoot your nuke to here. So you usually have it like 1 block raised, and same with your You know what? An easier way to explain this is just showing the booster separately and not connecting the whole cannon, because some things are pushed by pistons, which means that they're on greater delay. So pretty much what will happen is you'll have your hammer booster, one redstone tick after your power. So you're giving it one redstone tick to travel to the trapdoor before it's shot out by your second power. Next, we'll go over. I went over sand booster, but yeah, you'll have two redstone ticks to let it travel. So you have this one go off two redstone ticks before your first power, and for your AP, you will have your booster one or two, just depending on how much booster you have, one or two ticks before your actual power. So as you can see, this is on 17, and you want to put this on 15 to 16 about. So, and briefly covering the red sand, TNT explodes in 40 redstone ticks, so that's why you have 41 here, because pistons obviously aren't TNT, so it's not, you don't have to wait for it to explode. So pretty much how I just find the how many repeaters you need for your red sand is all you have to do. You look at your hammer booster, so this is on 3. Then you have to add 40, and then I just subtract 2. So 3 plus 40 is 43, minus 2 is 41, and that's because you want to allow time for your piston to push out and drop the sand a little bit before this booster goes off. Because like I said, you have 44 seconds or 40 redstone ticks while your TNT is primed before it explodes. So I hope that helped. I know it's a little bit confusing. If you need, just rewatch the video and try to pick up on the relationships between all these, because that's what's going to help you the most, not the specific timings, but the relationships. So yeah, my next video will probably be on stair barrels, so don't worry. If you want to learn how to build that, just wait. Probably have it either tomorrow or the day after. And yeah, so if you have any questions or anything like that, I know this is a confusing topic, let me know in the comments. I can always redo a video if you guys don't understand it, but I feel like this is a pretty good tutorial. And yeah, so like I said, I'm going to be doing more in depth on APs and nukes and everything like that in a separate video. But yeah, see ya.